Was Wano arc good? Some parts broke me, and some made me question about my time being spent in One Piece, on One Piece. I'll talk about them briefly because I don't want this to be a negative video, seeing that all in all Wano arc was actually good for the series, and it helped it push forward the story. Each episode felt like wading through molasses. The tension was there, but the pacing dragged it down. While in the manga, people tell me that the pacing is much better. I think the Gear 5 was a bit exaggerated and could have retained some cool factor, quote unquote. And maybe the story suffered a little bit because of Luffy being Nika. But it will be for the best in the end, I guess. The Tobiropo were very disappointing. I was expecting a lot more from this elite team. And the fight between Kaido and Luffy had so much color that I could barely follow things. There are a few more, but I don't want to, be overly negative. With that out of the way, I'm going to say that Wano was and will remain with me for a long time. Why? Because it gave me some beautiful moments that I was really searching for in One Piece, and it introduced one of the best characters in One Piece and one of the most hated. And believe me, I bet no one will be more hated than Orochi. Oden was well written. Even if we saw just a fraction of his story, in only a mere 15 episodes, we saw how he grew from a miscreant to a savior. We saw how a hidden land had one of the strongest characters in the series, and we discovered the values that he stands for, which is quite a lot to discover in 15 episodes, in my opinion. Oden showed that One Piece public that even if you're a bigger fish, you should go out of your comfort zone and have the courage to do so and go explore. How you shouldn't be afraid of meeting someone stronger than you and instead have a smile on your face when you are knocked down. And you know what I'm talking about. I mean, the fact that he tanked a hit from Roger and he got up smiling and wanting for more, I think that's enough proof of what a beast this guy was. What I liked about this arc is that it made me care for a character that, just like in Demon Slayer, I only got to know for a brief time, and when he died, the scene was very impactful. It managed to take us there as a public. The second thing that I loved about Wano was the fact that we got to see a little more about Roger, and we've been asking for this for a lot of time. Now we know what kind of person he was, the level of power he had, and we even got to see that he was at his peak, but he didn't have troubles letting go. He had a bigger purpose than that. He knew that in order to bring change, he would have to become more than a pirate king. He had to become an idea, a goal that will capture young people's imagination and move towards a life of, adventure and discovery maybe. I truly believe that One Piece won't have moments as impactful as these 15 episodes from a bygone era. Well, maybe when they'll bring in the ancients and whatnot, but maybe it won't be so impactful because we won't have information about those. They'll be too far away to be able to empathize with them. The story as a whole was sad, maybe sadder than what we previously encountered. There was a lot of pain in Wano. Not being able to cry and instead laugh when your pops is executed is kind of dark. As from a comedy standpoint, it had a few moments like the one when Luffy met with Zoro after a long time. And it was a stupid little sequence, but it showed us that these guys are brothers, not crewmates. It is something deeper there. And come on, Luffy punching with an overpowered sword instead of slashing, I mean, that was peak Luffy, right? The little moments when Luffy, Law, and Kid were on the screen together had the power to break what was, a bleak arc. And that was kind of cool. It was awesome to see the chemistry between these three characters. What stayed with me was the Roger and Whitebeard episodes. Those with Oden and the sad story behind the land of Wano. The funny moments with Luffy, Kid, and Law, and the others that were involved were enjoyable and helped de-stress the situation. As for the last important moment in Wano, is the fact that we got to see finally what Shanks was capable of. Finally, we could stop theorizing and we got a glimpse as to why he is an emperor. And not only that, but we got to see the power jump that One Piece was about to make. All in all, I see this arc as a loss of innocence for the Straw Hats. They are finally in the waters with the big contenders and they can actually hold their own. Come to think of it, we got to power up for Luffy, Zoro and Sanji, and Nico Robin. So my prediction is that in the next in line is the rest of the crew, I think. So we can only be excited for that. As a conclusion, I think Wano gave us important information for what is about to come in the next chapters. The power level jump and the dangers that lie ahead. The story will get much more interesting from now on as we uncover the truth, and sadly, it will bring us closer to the end of One Piece. But hey, let me know in the comments what were your favorite moments from Wano, and if you enjoyed Wano, which is more important.